Hard to believe it's been a year, but Mortal Kombat 1 launched a year ago over the weekend. This past Saturday was that 1 year anniversary, and I figured, why not do a quick little retrospective? What's up? It's Dynasty back with a more laid back, chill video, if you will. I saw this tweet pop up from the Game Awards earlier today, and it pretty much shook my mind, shocked me. Couldn't believe that it's been a year since this game was released, and I feel like unanimously, universally, most of us pretty much feel the exact same way about Mortal Kombat 1. At the root of it, the core of it, the gameplay, depending on if you enjoy or don't enjoy the cameos, the actual gameplay itself with like the primary fighters, I feel like most of us are happy and are glad to see combos are back. Going back to Mortal Kombat 11, our one complaint was the lack of combos. The movesets were just lacking, and now we have that with a mix of cameos that continue to break the game wave by wave by wave, but that's neither here and there. For the most part, we're all pretty much underwhelmed with the content outside of the core gameplay of the game. Now, obviously, in a few weeks, less than 2, Khaos Reigns DLC expansion is dropping, which should give us some more offline single-player content. Maybe the Warrior Shrine is something of note to give us some more replayability. I'm sure we're bound to have some more invasions updates, maybe some new mesas, but will it really change what we've experienced over the past year of this new expansion? And honestly, I don't think it's gonna really make much of a difference. Now, they keep advertising that new game modes are gonna be launching with this expansion. I'm pretty sure they mean, like I mentioned, the Warrior Shrine and online practice. But as far as I know, online lobbies still not confirmed to be making a comeback. And a year after the game has been out, for that to still not be part of the online game modes is ridiculous. So obviously, if you watch the channel, you do know I've got a lot of complaints when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1 because the replayability outside of the actual core gameplay is just not there. And me personally, I'm not really a fan of the cameo fighters. I just feel like it's too much for me. And that's because I like to think I'm a bit more competitive than a casual player at times. So if I'm overwhelmed, I can only imagine how the casual audience feels, given that, well, most of the people who play Mortal Kombat are casual. It's always been known as the casual fighter of the mix between, Street Fighter, Tekken, what have you. Mortal Kombat's always been casual, and there's just been no content outside of the actual online core Combat League gameplay. So I saw this tweet, and I was like, you know what? The Game Awards is pretty much just a bunch of people who like games, People who follow this account are gamers and not necessarily Mortal Kombat players. So, wouldn't say 100% unbiased, but definitely a nice taste of how people are receiving the game a year after the fact, given that it's not just an FGC echo chamber. Now, I believe I saw this on my timeline because Zack's Not Dead came out and said, and it's still in beta because of WB's bullshit, upcharging for any additional content in a game released with 1/5 the content as its predecessor did 5 years prior is criminal. Fuck WB for ruining an amazing IP, and honestly, I feel like that's how a lot of us feel. And the response is interesting because, again, this is not necessarily even a fighting game demographic that follows this account, and it seems like most people are pretty underwhelmed with Mortal Kombat 1. Shocker. It was actually 1992. One of the best games I've ever played. I'm sure there's going to be a snarky reply to this. You must have not played very many of them, you goofy, bruh. Please don't remind me. And yet it's still crap. Look at the interactions here. Trash game. Don't you mean to say MK12 remastered? MK1's garbage. Wow, how time has flown. How many of y'all are still playing Mortal Kombat 1? I got the Switch version. Most disappointing Mortal Kombat. And it's been whack since then. Would have preferred Injustice 3 instead, because the current state of MK1 right now is pure ass. Since then, WB Games and Dominic Seen Solo have broken the remains of the Mortal Kombat community. Rest in power, Mortal Kombat. There will not be any fans to remember you. And it's dead now. Looking forward to the new story and hope Invasions is improved. Agree. Wasted $110 a year ago today. Quickest I've ever gotten hyped for an MK and just as quickly dropped interest for it too. And I feel like that's something that I've experienced and a lot of you guys have experienced. I feel like this is a very true comment. And this horrific idea to put cameos there, they should have at least allowed us to turn them on or off in Combat League. I still think that there is a way to bring back some of the casual audience if you do remove the cameo fighter aspect and give you a one-on-one mode, but with it not being advertised for year 2, I honestly doubt it's going to happen, and I feel like that would make a lot of people happy. Probably the most unfortunate Mortal Kombat game. Feels like it's lost a lot of the soul that Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11 to an extent had. I struggled to bring myself to play it when Street Fighter 6 is just outright better in my opinion. Again, a lot of people are now playing Street Fighter and Tekken instead of Mortal Kombat, it seems like. I still enjoy playing it on my Switch. Well, there's one positive response. And I still don't regret buying it. You can see a lot of the positive responses have no interaction, though. I thought it was released this year considering it was in beta and still being fixed since 2023. 1 year and the game is still incomplete and without a story. Well, it does have a story, though it is pretty convoluted and ruined with the Marvel ending. It's a story nonetheless. Most disappointing game ever. Go and play Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8 instead. Pre-ordered that game, I've been on it like 2 times. Wait a year already, a waste of $100 a year ago. It's only been a year. I was disappointed a year ago today. I had high hopes for this game and I was so disappointed. I'm glad I didn't buy it. Waiting on the $20 bundle. Don't think they're going to actually have a physical with all the DLC, sadly. It seems like the Chaos Reigns expansion will strictly be online download only. So you're going to have to wait to get that on sale digitally. This was a first rough year for Mortal Kombat, but I still love it. You know, some optimism's nice. The most underrated Mortal Kombat ever. Man, I was so hyped for this game. Like, I haven't been that hyped in a long time. The trailers and everything. Then they released it. The game was fun for a month, and that's it. I still do think this game probably has the best roster on paper of all time. It was the perfect roster, but again, the execution just really feels like it's not there. MK11 and MK1 are taking steps further and further in the wrong direction. NetherRealm were cooking with MK9 and MKX and found a winning formula, then threw it out the window. I will say, the Mortal Kombat 11 story, for what it was complete. By the time it was all said and done with the DLC, it was complete. Not going to say that Mortal Kombat 1 will be the same exact scenario, because for all I know, there's going to be some plot holes after this expansion. Will there be another one for Combat Pack 3 that makes it come full circle in another year? But again, I don't like the way the game ended. I don't like how we're getting into this multiverse era of NetherRealm games. I think it's so lazy, but it's got a story. Is it a winning story? No, but it's got a story. And it shouldn't have. They need to stop making new universes. I've just said that. The game's good, still outsold Street Fighter 6 and Tekken. Everyone just wants to be a trend hater, probably don't even play fighting games. Now, I hate to say it, buddy, but it's actually selling on par with both. It's not really beating them at all by much. So, don't think it's a trend to just hate a game. I think it's a lot of it's constructive feedback and criticism. I think you just got your head in the sand and you can't live knowing that this game has been underwhelming, must I repeat. We don't have online lobbies in a fighting game a year after the fact. But yeah, great game, by the way. Year of embarrassment. 1 year to properly buff Sub-Zero damage, and they still haven't done it. Yeah, my boy sucks in this game for the first time ever, it seems like. And people are celebrating that. Yeah, we made one of the most popular characters horrible. That makes a lot of sense. The people who still play this game celebrate that Sub-Zero sucks. That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I see that every day on my timeline, and celebrating that a fan favorite character sucks is not a good thing. You would want all the mainline characters to probably be enjoyable to use. As a Sub-Zero main, I fucking hate Sub in this game. 1 year of low punch throw mix-ups. Mid launched 1 year ago today. I just let a fart 1 minute ago. Unfortunately, the most boring fighting game ever. I still think MK11 probably takes that. Terrible launch. Definitely got burned on this one. W game. It's so fun, story, etc. The biggest mistake. What? Mid. I've been playing this shit for a year. Breaks my heart. One of the worst Mortal Kombats. The worst Mortal Kombat. Worst one since MK versus DC. cheeks. 1 year and the game still feels empty and ass. The safest, most baby mode, nonsensical Mortal Kombat game ever made. That's what it feels like. And still to this day, it isn't a finished game, aka trash embodied. It's quite bad too. What else is new? Mid-game, as a lifelong Mortal Kombat fan, not claiming this one. It was pushed to launch early because of Suicide Squad, which is why it had a shaky launch. WB really screwed up royally with this one. NetherRealm shot themselves in the foot a year ago today. It sucked on the Switch. It never fails to click a post like this and see so much hate from miserable people like, damn, have a great day. You know, I think there is something of note, though. If you're so used to seeing negativity with Mortal Kombat posts on an unbiased video game Twitter account, I think that proves that the game probably isn't, you know, living up to the standard that was set. I'm just saying. And to be like, I'm tired of seeing negativity, isn't going to fix anything. It's only going to make it get worse. If anything, I'm proud to see that there's people who are being critical and honest about their displeasures with this game, because a year ago, it felt like you were crazy if you were saying you weren't enjoying Mortal Kombat 1. And now that we've been removed for a year since the initial launch, we're still seeing people say things like game shit, one of the most forgettable pieces of crap. Sweet baby, DEI developers ruined another franchise, which is, I don't know if that's been 110% confirmed. I feel like that's constantly being brought up, but I feel like we haven't gotten confirmation about how much DEI was actually implemented. With that being a WB licensed game, though, I'm pretty sure there's... Come on. Must I say anything else? Pure and utter garbage. This game has somehow done more damage to Mortal Kombat's image than MK11 did it in 1 year. Yeah! Mortal Kombat 11 was probably peak. In terms of, like, marketing and numbers and sales. MK11 will probably never be topped. Now, from a gameplay standpoint, I don't mean that, but dude, the snowball effect from MK9 to X to 11, like, they really set the bar high. And that's not saying much given the gameplay was so bad. Trash game, on with it. Still fucking sucks. The worst Mortal Kombat. No one's talking about it. MK died 6 months into its life, as do most games nowadays. Honestly, that's facts, man. I feel like a lot of games don't last as much as they used to. This whole live service model. People are constantly wanting new content on that Fortnite level. It is what it is, but it doesn't change the fact that things like this are being said. Horrible game. Garbage game. Longest beta ever. Actually shit game. Garbage is 1 year old now. The time period between the announcement and the launch was the most excited part of this game ever, honestly. The pre-launch for this game was so hype. It was so hype. I think I dropped to like 200 videos in like 3 months. It was so hype. Every day there was so much talk. And it just sucks because ultimately we're left with a game that a lot of people just don't like. I'm gonna actually go see the quote tweets on this. Like I was just saying, there's hope in this world. Reading some of these comments to this post, yeah, man, some people thankfully are voicing their displeasures. I do think this was on point. A lot of memes still in beta, unfortunately. I miss Johnny Cage memes. Just a bunch of memes. Such a mid-game, they should have really made Injustice 3 instead. I was so excited for this game because it's a new Mortal Kombat game, but then the greediness of the company and the apathy of tastelessness of the devs ruined everything. Man, time flies. I'd say anniversary, but there's nothing to be excited about. A game that wasn't much to satisfy their fans because many MK fans are quite disappointed in this game and has nothing to show for it. My hype levels were crazy. The fact that I never touched that game. I don't like the fact that they took some iconic characters and made them cameos in this game. It was just another cash grab like MK11, but worse. Time is flying by, and I should give Mortal Kombat 1 another go. I had fun with the story mode, but fall off soon after. Yeah, there's no replayability unless you're playing online constantly and enjoying the meta for the game. This game could have been so much better, I swear to God. Happy anniversary! Wasted $110 a year ago. Man, this is such a rough launch. Worst $69 ever, and it shouldn't have. Tanked! One of the worst games I've ever played. MK hasn't been the same since MK9. MKX was the biggest disappointment in gaming history. Should have kept that. You know, there are some people who are positive, but Mid launched 1 year ago today. Unhappy 1 year anniversary. What the fuck? This game felt like it was released yesterday. Game's more fun than Street Fighter and Tekken, but people online pretend to hate it. Again, I don't think this is people pretending. I really don't think that this is people pretending. I really don't. And again, what's deadly about this mindset is you'll take anything. You'll take anything, and if I don't agree with you, you're wrong. And that's why I don't understand why being critical is ever an issue, because at least if you're critical, it's because it's coming from a place of love and want and desire for things to be better, which is ultimately what I've wanted for this game as a content creator, voicing my opinions for over a year now. I've wanted this game to get better, which is why I've talked about the game breaking glitches and the bullshit, you know, the DLC prices, the domino effect this game had on me. LOL. It's been 1 year of MK. Hope Chaos Reigns saves the game for you. Had fun with this game. 12 months of agony. My hell. I still think that MK11's better a year later. So, yeah, you know, some people have a lot of positive stuff to say, but a lot of people really underwhelmed, flop. And I just kind of wanted to showcase this, right? Because I feel like with us being a year removed, it's interesting to gauge the response, the audience, especially the modern gamer, not necessarily like diehard FGC fighting game oriented fan has towards this game. The sell numbers are selling slower than Mortal Kombat 11, and I think when you see things like this, it's not a shocker, because again, ultimately, this game just feels empty. If you're not playing online, there's really not much content for you to enjoy other than the redundant invasions mode. And again, I just wanted to kind of showcase this because I feel like despite the issues I've had of this game, I am very critical. And it's to the point where people leave comments saying, oh, wouldn't it be a Dynasty video if you didn't complain? I complain because I want this franchise to be better, because I want more for us actual Mortal Kombat fans. And it just sucks because in response to all the negativity, I feel like some people just pay it no mind, and they consider you just to be a negative Nancy with no merit to your complaints. And I just feel like that's such a deadly mindset to have, because if you just accept anything that's given to you and you just praise, MK's great, greatest MK ever. If you're hating on this game, you're not a real fan. You're going to continue to get a really underwhelming game, and that's going to show in the sales moving forward. So we're a year removed from Mortal Kombat 1, and my opinion has been what it's been for the last, 12 months at this point. Story mode was what it was. I'll always enjoy the story mode because, you know, the cinematics, seeing all these characters interact with each other, it's a beautiful game. But other than that, man, I seriously have zero interest in grinding and learning a lot of these characters, because I just feel like it's for nothing, given that everyone just swaps meta every patch update. And it just takes out the fun out of being, like me, a character loyalist. Doesn't matter how good I am with a Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero combination. If Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero are low tier, I'm going to get mopped. And that's pretty much standard for every fighting game. But typically, I feel like with Mortal Kombat, you know, given the MKX variation system, Mortal Kombat 11 creating your own variation, I feel like you always had a way to create your playstyle. And you do have that, obviously, with your cameo fighters. But for me, I feel like everybody is still just using Johnny Cage and whatever is a broken cameo fighter at this point in time, and they're just doing what they can to get the W, and in this case, it's 2 combo strings round over. And it just kind of feels like I'm playing some type of, I don't know, it's almost like I'm playing an MMO or something, and people are just using the best kit to win, and it just makes it really not fun, because I feel like the idea was there, the idea to just have these different cameo fighters that give you the ability to do things you want to do in terms of how you want to play. I just feel like the execution wasn't there, and it just, again, like Invasions mode becomes redundant because everybody's just playing to the meta of this time, depending on what patch we're on. It was Homelander when Homelander was fresh, it was Omni-Man when Omni-Man was fresh, and again, that's kind of been the staple for Mortal Kombat games. throughout the whole first year until things get patched in that final balance patch, people always just constantly switch to other characters. I just feel like it was so much more prominent this time around because the cameo system being the way it is. And it just makes it to where if you're not using a broken combination of characters, I feel like you can't win. And it just doesn't make it fun for me. Which is why I've been very vocal about how I feel like there should still be some type of 1v1 mode where you're not relying on the cameo meta and the brokenness of that to win, because I feel like that just takes away a lot of the fun. And I don't know. I've never really had to worry about like counter picking per se in Mortal Kombat games because I felt like everybody was pretty damn balanced. But with this one, I just feel like if you're not counter picking, you're fucked in so many ways. Or if you're not picking the best combination. And I don't know, man. I haven't been playing much. I've had a very busy summer. We're going into fall now, and I've really not changed the amount I've played at all. I feel like I have no incentive to get back and play. Because again, all I'm going to run into is Johnny Cage and whatever cameo fighter is broken for this week. And it's not fun. It's not fun. So there you go. That's my retrospective. Mortal Kombat 1's been out for a year. Will Khaos Reign save the game? I don't think so. I think there's obviously been a bunch of pretty good improvements. Like seeing these cameo fighters get more buffs, I think is good. I think more tools for these cameo fighters to make them worthwhile and worth picking is a good thing. We need to have more than just 3 cameo fighters selected. More of that. If this game's gonna be a 2 combo string round over, let's make sure that every character has the ability to play to that meta and make every character broken. That's where I come from. Then again, you know, when you understand that my favorite game was MKX pre-XL patch and I love the broken armored launcher days, it kind of you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm not expecting this game to be perfectly balanced. I'm really not, but I just wish I could pick Sub-Zero and do some damage. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe I'm just bad. Maybe I'm just bad. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. I thought this was very interesting, and I just kind of want to sit down and give you guys an insight on this tweet. Now that we're a year removed from Mortal Kombat 1 and obviously a week and a half away from Khaos Reigns, what do you think of the game? What do you think of the response we got from this Twitter exchange here? Is there anything they can do to bring you back into the game? I know for me, you know, those online lobbies would be nice because, again, that's been a staple for forever at this point. And with that even missing, I just can't believe it. I can't believe people overlook that and they can say with a straight face this game was complete. I don't know. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.